We're going to show you how to turn drinking water that looks something like this into drinking water that looks more like this. Hi, my name's Dan. Dean is sitting this video out today. She just had knee surgery and she's recuperating right now, but we are Rivers to Ridges RV. If you've been following our channel at all, you know that we've been mooch docking at our son and daughter-in-law's house for a pretty good amount of time now. And this was to give Dina time to schedule her knee surgery and also time for physical therapy. However, once her physical therapy is done, we're going to start traveling again. And one of the very first things we need to do to get our RV prepped and ready to go is to sanitize our freshwater holding tank. Now, normally when we travel, 99% of the time we're at a campground and we're using the campground water supply, or straight from the spigot. So we bypass our freshwater holding tank. However, one of our very first stops this time is a harvest hose. And what that means is there's not going to be any water there. We have to carry our water with us. And in order to do that, we have to fill up our freshwater holding tank. Now, since our freshwater holding tank has been empty or almost empty or just really not being used that much, whatever water's in there is probably going to be a little dirty and just a little bit nasty. I really don't want to drink that. So we're going to follow the instructions that came with our Grand Design 397 Momentum. We're going to follow these instructions to clean out our freshwater holding tanks. Now, something to be aware of, there's a lot of RVers, honestly, that do the same exact video, shows you how to clean out your freshwater holding tank. But some of them, they'll tell you, if you don't have enough time, to do it, just double or triple up the amount of bleach you use. And you really don't want to do that. Bleach is corrosive. So the last thing you want to do is start eating away your internal parts or your internal plumbing parts or internal plumbing fixtures just to sanitize your tank. So we're going to follow the instructions that came with our RV, and I would suggest you would do the same with yours. So with that said, we're going to jump outside and we're going to get this process started and start sanitizing our freshwater tank. Before we get started sanitizing our tanks, I wanted to go over some of the tools or some of the equipment we're going to be using. First off is just a measuring cup. This is going to measure the bleach, the amount of bleach that we put into our mixture. We also have a 5-gallon bucket, and we also have a little 3-foot hose that we're going to attach to our Nautilus system. But I feel most importantly is we have this, it's called a Save a Drop meter, and basically all it is it tells us how many gallons of water has gone through our hose, and we have a little shut-off valve as well. I like the shut-off valve because I can go to the spigot, turn it on, just leave it on. I can control everything from here, but again, the flow meter is going to tell us how much water, how many gallons of water is going to be in our mixture. Something else to be aware of, on our RV, everybody's going to be different. We have 140 gallons of fresh water. Our holding tanks hold 140 gallons, but that's actually made up of 2 freshwater tanks. Our main tank is 98 gallons and our smaller tank is 42 gallons. That's what Grand Design told us. Now, there's a slight problem with that is there's just a hose that connects the 2 tanks together. If I fill up my freshwater tanks too fast, that hose won't have time to even out those tanks. I'll start losing water or go out the overflow. So in our particular case, when I fill up our freshwater tanks, we have to go kind of slow, give our tanks time to equalize, and just kind of go from there. Now, you may not have the same situation, but just something to be aware of. If you do have 2 tanks, just be aware of that. Now, fortunately for us, our RV came with a Nautilus system. It makes this process extremely easy. There's 4 valves on the Nautilus system. All we have to do is follow the instructions, turn into the sanitized position, and we're ready to go. The way we're going to clean out our tanks is we're going to create a solution or a mixture. We're going to mix a 1/4 cup of bleach per gallon of water. Those are from the instructions from our manual. Now, to make that a little bit easier, we're going to fill up our bucket with 4 gallons of water and a 1 cup of bleach. We're just kind of taking those figures and multiplying by 4 just to make it a little bit easier. Now, also in our instructions, it says 1 gallon of our mixture per 15 gallons of freshwater holding tank capacity. Our freshwater holding tank holds 140 gallons, so if you divide that by 15, that's just over 9, I think it's like 9.3, 9.5 gallons of our mixture. So we're going to fill our bucket up with 4 gallons of our mixture, pour it into our freshwater tank, another 4 gallons, pour it into the freshwater tank, and then just over a gallon, gallon and a half, and pour that into our freshwater holding tank. And then we'll take the rest, our hose, and just fill up our holding tanks until they're completely full and let it set for a while. Now that we have our solution all mixed, all we have to do is we hooked up our 3-foot hose to our Nautilus system. We have a pump up here. We're going to activate the pump. It's going to siphon our solution out of our 5-gallon bucket, and we'll do that. That'll be the first 4 gallons. We'll do it again with another 4 gallons, and then again with a partial bucket. So let's go ahead and do the pump now. Okay, that's our first 4 gallons. We're going to repeat the process and do another 4 gallons. Now here we can just reset our little flow meter, and we're going to do another 4 gallons. While this bucket's filling up, if you enjoyed these kind of videos, please hit the like button. It really helps us out, and hopefully it helps our videos get out to more RVers, so hopefully we can actually help some more RVers out as well. We're at 3.9, 4 gallons. You can see again, hopefully we're right at 4 gallons, so we're going to go ahead and hit the pump and get this 4 gallons siphoned back into our freshwater tank. That was the second time we did this. That was 4 gallons each time. Now we're just going to do a partial. Remember, we're putting in just over 9.5 gallons of our mixture. We have 8 gallons in. So this time we'll do about 1.5 gallons and just not even quite half a cup of bleach. We reset our meter again, and now we're only going to put in 1.5 gallons. Now that we have 1.5 gallons in here, we're going to go ahead and siphon this into our freshwater tanks, and then we'll fill the freshwater tanks up the rest of the way with just regular water. One more thing that's extremely important, don't tell Dina I poured bleach in her measuring cup. She'll kill me. Now this will take some time to fill up, but we are going to stay out here and monitor it. We don't want our overflow. I feel this too fast. Again, I'm going to start getting water overflowing onto the ground. I don't want that to happen. We're going to start losing our solution. So we're going to monitor this. If we do start to get some overflow coming out, we're going to slow the flow rate down to make sure both of our tanks get filled up all the way, and they give them time to equalize basically. Now we did put in just under 10 gallons of water, or our solution. Our holding tanks hold 140 gallons of fresh water, so we have about 130 gallons to fill up our freshwater tanks. Now remember, we have 2 freshwater tanks, a 98-gallon one and a 42-gallon one. If I fill this up too fast, what will happen is the main tank will fill up and start overflowing onto the ground before the water has a chance to siphon into the smaller tank. So we really have to kind of monitor this. If I do start to see some overflow water coming onto the ground, I'm going to have to maybe either stop this flow for a while, let things equalize, or at least slow the rate down quite a bit. So we're going to stay out here for all 130 gallons and just monitor it, make sure we don't lose any on the ground. Once our freshwater holding tanks are full, our next step is going to be to go inside the RV. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our shower heads and our faucets, and this is going to allow this freshwater solution we just made to come through our lines, out our shower heads, out our faucets, to make sure we get all those lines clean as well. And we're going to let this set per our instructions for at least 3 hours. Then what we will do is we'll come back, we will drain our freshwater tanks, fill them up again without the bleach, with just fresh water to get some of that bleach smell out of there, and just to funnel it through one more time, and then we'll be good to go and we should be sanitized. Now that our freshwater tanks are full, we came back inside the RV. Now we're going to go to each one of our faucets and our shower heads one at a time, and we're going to open them up or turn them on. What this is going to do is going to allow that fresh water, that solution we created, that bleach, to come into the plumbing all the way up through and out the faucets, and of course out the shower heads. This way we know we have that fresh water throughout our whole plumbing system. So we'll do that for each one of our faucets and our shower heads. Then we're really kind of done. Our instructions said to let that solution set for at least 3 hours. That's what we'll do. Once we run our faucets, we're going to close everything up, let everything set for at least the 3 hours. We'll probably go a tad more than that. Then we're going to come back. We're going to drain out our freshwater tanks completely, so there's nothing left in them. Then we're going to fill them up one more time with strictly fresh water. Now the reason for this is if we didn't do that second flush, you're going to taste that bleach, right? Where you take a shower or you're drinking from a faucet, you're going to taste that bleach and you're going to smell it. So we want to get rid of some of that smell and the taste, of course. So all done. Flush the tanks, fill them back up one more time with just fresh water, and then we should be good after that. Hopefully you found this video helpful and maybe even learned something today. If you did, please leave a comment below, good or bad. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know as well. We're always trying to help out other RVers as much as we can. Remember, always live life to the fullest.